Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we need to talk about London because today they announced they're taking a page out of Beijing, China's playbook and enabling facial recognition for cameras in and around London. Now, here's what's going on. According to the London Metropolitan Police's website and their official statement, I quote, "The Metropolitan Police Service announced on Friday, 24 January, that it will begin the operational use of live facial recognition technology. The use of live facial recognition technology will be intelligence-led and deployed to specific locations in London. This will help tackle serious crime, including serious violence, gun and knife crime, child sexual exploitation, and help protect the vulnerable." Now, Assistant Commissioner Nick F. Grave weighed in and said, and I quote, "This is an important development for the Met and one which is vital in assisting us in bearing down on violence as a modern police force. I believe we have a duty to use these technologies to keep people safe in London. Independent research has shown that the public support us in this regard. Prior to deployment, we will be engaging with our partners and communities on a local level. We are using a tried and tested technology and have taken a considered and transparent approach in order to arrive at this point. Similar technology is already widely in use across the UK in the private sector. Ours has been trialed by our technology teams for use in an operational policing environment." So here's what's going on, and here are the logistics of this as we know thus far, and I'm going to refute a little bit of what the assistant commissioner just said. Now, what's going on is this. These cameras will be placed in locations popular with both shoppers and tourists, such as Stratford's Westfield Shopping Centre and the West End. This is according to BBC News. Each camera will scan for faces contained in bespoke watch lists, which the Met, that's the Metropolitan Police, say will predominantly contain individuals, and I quote, "wanted for serious and violent offenses. When the camera flags an individual, police officers will approach and ask them to verify their identity. If they're on a watch list, they'll be arrested." And again, I quote the Metropolitan press release here. "This is a system which simply gives police officers a prompt suggesting that the person over there may be the person they're looking for." Now, operational use of these cameras will only last for about 5 or 6 hours at a time, again, according to BBC News. But as stated, the Met makes it clear that the use of this technology is going to be the new norm for London. The use of facial recognition by law enforcement in the UK has previously been limited to small trials, such as public events like concerts or football matches, aka soccer games here in the colonies. But here's the thing, and let's dive into this a little bit more. We know that facial recognition technology has had a serious problem with false positives and basically bad identifications. Here in the United States, similar systems have had up to a 35% failure rate when looking at women and minorities. According to studies done by MIT and other outfits, we've seen a lot of false positives in Oakland, California, and basically data from one trial in London itself indicated that 81% of matches suggested by the facial recognition system that was on trial was actually incorrect. And so here we are. Basically, what the police will do is, if the facial recognition technology, let's say, flags me as a potential, even though I'm an innocent, the police will approach me, basically ask for my identification, and if I actually match what the facial recognition technology said, then I will be arrested. I mean, that's basically how it works. The only problem that we have with this oftentimes is police malfeasance. I do not have much experience with the UK police or the London police force, but I know here in the United States, cops are very cautious, and we've got a good chunk of police violence on our hands, in part because I think some of the police officers perceive that they need to defend themselves, and whether that's true or not, and I'm not here to debate that, but I think that is a really serious issue that we've got here with false positives, and there may be some innocent victims here in London that are getting tagged, or tourists that might be getting tagged as suspicious, and hopefully no violence will become of that, especially if somebody feels like their rights are trampled on. And speaking of that, the next major point I want to make about this is that UK privacy advocates are fighting this hard, and there's no doubt it's going to be met with legal challenges. Now, An individual named Silky Carlo is the director of Big Brother Watch in the UK, and they told the Daily Mail, and I quote, "This decision represents an enormous expansion of the surveillance state and a serious threat to civil liberties in the UK. This is a breathtaking assault on our rights, and we will challenge it, including by urgently considering the next steps in our ongoing legal claim against the Met and the Home Secretary. This move instantly stains the new government's human rights record, and we urge an immediate reconsideration." Now, we have seen in other places around the world, especially in authoritarian governments, that the use of facial recognition and heavy camera surveillance has been basically enabled to basically run a country like a police state. And a lot of people fear that here in the UK that they in the UK would be ramping up for this. And so I leave it to you. And if you are watching this and you are in the United Kingdom or in and around London, I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because as one of those things as a privacy advocate that I look at is the emerging technology. And oftentimes we have laws that don't keep up with the technology that is coming out there, and by virtue of that, the government is able to find loopholes in terms of possible privacy rights violations that aren't necessarily legally incorrect for them to do, but maybe, let's say, the spirit of the law might be eroded on. Not to mention the fact that we have gone centuries with a police force that did not have this kind of technology, and they have kept crime relatively low. I understand technology makes it easier to steal things and all of that, so we have cybercrime units for let's say criminal hackers that are trying to break into stuff. But when you are just walking down the street minding your own business and somebody gets flagged incorrectly, and I've mentioned this before, I look like Penn Jillette and some famous chef on some show, because people are always asking me that, especially at airports for some reason. This is the thing we're talking about. And so I leave it up to you guys to answer the question. I personally don't think this is a good thing, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you are in London or the UK itself, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this, and that the government supports this. So please let me know. And that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And I'm being facially recognized by all three of those. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.